In an ideal world, my kitchen would have looked like this. I had 130 by 55 by 93 to play with, but this is van life and it actually ended up looking like this. I had a drawer for the shoes now, one pan drawer instead of two, and the bin was moved as well. Everything else did manage to fit in. It started with some 2x2, which we're making the frame out of, and because this is going to be a single standalone unit so we can build it outside of the van before moving it in, it was going to have a base, as you can see there. So we cut the other pieces to make it into a full cube before attaching them together. We're using pocket screws again and some glue to make it as neat as possible. Once we'd cut all the pieces to size and added in the pocket holes, we then clamped it down so we could add in the screws and connect the pieces together. And this is the kitchen base starting to take shape. This is the piece that will be drilled down into the van base, into the van floor. 2x2s at the back, 2x1s at the front, yes. I'll get the other one. So we need to now just pocket hole, screw those in there. We're going to roll that back over, are we?
Yeah, and quickly put. Yeah, I've got them. Hold it everywhere.
Hold it everywhere.
Yeah.
Right, go. Right. Yeah.
Let that dry a bit now, I think.
Yeah. In the places where we weren't using pocket screws, we were drilling pilot holes down, countersinking them so the screws that we did use would be hidden. Currently on a touch of a deadline because the qualifying F1 starts in half an hour. So we're going to try and get all the bits that we need to glue done before that so we can go watch it, and it'll be dry by the time we come back and we can carry on. And that is just what we did. Added in the last few screws. And then after the F1, it was time for some appliances. We finished the rest of the outline and brought it into the van to see how it would look. So it will have to just come out just there.
Yeah.
That's it.
So what's that feel like now for space to get in and out?
To get in. Yeah, but it was supposed to come out to here. When it was where it was out before, I would have just knocked myself every time, but that's plenty of room.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I like it. Next we had to work out sort of where the fridge and the oven were going to go and the size of the drawers that we were going to be able to fit in. As you can tell from my drawing at the beginning, things did not exactly go to plan and we had to tweak stuff as we went. I very quickly realised that it would be better to have 3 sections that were bigger than squeeze another one in and everything just be slightly cramped. So that's all the work we did for the first day. We'll see you again tomorrow. This is what we're starting with at the beginning of day 2. We're going to add in the stand for the fridge to go on, and we're going to try and make the drawer at the bottom as well, and then add in the next column of rows for the pantry and the oven. We've got a very thick bit of ply which the fridge is going to stand on, so we're going to lay that on this bit here towards the back. We split the jobs for this bit. Dad was cutting out the base for the fridge and I was making the rest of the support out of the 2x1 battens that we had left. And the joints were quite interesting. We were using pocket screws, normal screws and glue as well, just to give it the trifecta of strength.
Fit in there, it does.
Yeah, so you need to cut the other side. Boom! There we go. That's... Sorry Dad, I've just walked backwards into Dad. That is where the fridge is going to go. Another very lucky thing has happened. My parents' next door neighbour has moved out and there was a skip full of drawers with all these runners on. So what we're doing at the moment is we're just going to try sort of repurpose as much as we can. So lots of fiddling and working out now, but we're going to build the drawer for this bottom bit there. And because we're repurposing these drawer runners and the ply used to build the rest of the cupboards is actually repurposed as well, this entire kitchen has cost me a grand total of £40. I'm going to make the drawer out of this, which is just some offcuts that Dad had lying around. It's the same size thickness as these, so I think that'll do well. We were unable to repurpose any of the drawers that we found in the skip, so we decided to make our own completely from scratch using this ply that Dad had. And to start with, we had to get both sides and the back of the drawer, and then we were going to put the runners on it, get that in place, and then create the front of the drawer to screw on it once it was in place. I thought that was probably the best way to do it. And the side pieces look like this when we were finished. And you can see we've just left a little gap at the end because the gas pipes are actually going to be running through that section, and it also just gives us a little bit of space for any manoeuvring. So we're just leaving this clamped for the glue to dry before we drill in it and finish off the rest of it. But that is the first drawer in the making. This is going to be the drawer front. We actually had to use some wood filler on this piece because there were some nails stuck in the side of the ply that Dad had to remove using some pliers. So we're just using some wood filler to fill in those gaps and make it look neat after sanding it down. Now we need to attempt to add the rollers. So we have the bottoms from the drawers we found. We're going to use them in my drawer. It's just a touch too short, so we're going to just add in an extra bit and fill that in. There's the drawer, look at that. That's it. Oh, holy moly, it works. It fits. I need to stand a bit more off, do I?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe we just, once it's screwed down and everything, then you can adjust it, can't you? But
yeah.
That looks cool.
Wow.
That looks cool.
It gives you a real idea of the space, though, it's going to take up. So that's how much it'll stick out from the van. This will all get covered. Plenty of gap. Wow. And then that opens that way. So I'm just chilling, I'm just doing my work, you know, I'm hungry. Blop! I love that. Yeah. Yeah, I'll just a bit more off the bottom.
Yeah, you'll have to wait until we put the floor down properly. Won't you? And screw this down properly.
Yeah.
This is not screwed down properly yet.
And now we know it fits. Dad screwed down the base for the fridge. Just to offer some perspective of how big the drawer is. Plenty of room. And she's back in the garden for us to finish off the work. Dad is actually away for 2 weeks now. So I've got to attempt the rest by myself. Let's see how far we get. That's all we've got time for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.